hardwired to think positively when it comes to the proximity to water. You know, they've proven this. It's a soothing, it's a feel-good thing. Now, I have to tell you, as we stream live here in Pickering at Frenchman's Bay, that going in the water, I don't think it'd be very soothing at the moment. I was checking the current temperatures. It's about 57 Fahrenheit, which is around 14 Celsius. Now, the experts say, because I know some of you say, well, what's wrong with that? Vern wants to go right in. He was going to take off his shirt and just do it. But they say 75 to 77 Fahrenheit is optimal, where there's no real risk in terms of freaking your body out. I'll leave that up to you. But what's really interesting as we look at the lake, and is this not just beautiful? What a gorgeous spot to just sit, maybe have a coffee or a bite to eat. Back in the 1800s, the beach was a huge draw, because everything else would either be, you know, a forest, a ravine, or open space. This was a hub where you had, you know, commerce going on and a beautiful, pristine beach. Imagine if you were a family. For kids, this would be something out of a fairy tale. And I was doing some research, and I thought, you know, as a kid, like in the beach on a hot summer day, by 1850 they had ice cream, and I thought, wow. So you start to put it all together of how magical this place was from the get-go. And when we go to the ice cream treat, I thought, you know, maybe we'll make that the AKQ, the Anwar Knight Query. That's when I ask you a question and you help me out with the answer. So your favorite childhood treat, and do you remember the price as we sit by the water here? And I remember as a kid, we were probably 10 or 11. We would ride our bikes with a whole bunch of kids, and we would probably cycle 4 kilometers or so, and we'd do a candy run. You know, we were going to the variety store, and I think it was Becker's at the time. I might be wrong, but I remember buying, you know, Popeye cigarettes. I mean, now they call them candy sticks. I remember buying Jawbreakers and Fun Dip. Do you remember the Fun Dip? You know, it was like a Kool-Aid, and you had this little candy. And I think Freezies were like 10 cents back then. Not for certain, but those are just some of the childhood treats that I recall. So that's what I'm asking you this afternoon, your favorite childhood treat. And if you can remember even the price, that would be kind of cool. So, you know, I want to talk about the bay. So we have the lake here, and this has obviously gone through some development, but then we have the bay. Now, the bay is where some of the boats, that's the marina that's right over there. And, you know, this is, as I mentioned, 55 hectares. But what's fascinating is that the bay is actually separated from the lake by a barrier beach. It runs almost 1,000 meters and 50 meters wide. So it was sealed off completely originally by the lake. In fact, I want to show you the cutout here that they did. So what happened, there was no way into the lake. So as we bring up this image, you'll see that industrious settlers had an idea, and they wanted to cut an opening to have access to the lake. So what they did, so we're going to get Jason to bring up this image, and I sort of circled the red where we're streaming live from, and then the arrow. They did that basically by hand and horse cart, and they carved open an opening. And, you know, this is really very industrious because it, again, and it changed everything. Now they, of course, have restored the break walls, newly constructed ones. But that channel still exists to this day. And so it was no longer just a summer industry. So now we had ships that were being built, commerce that was going on. And it was very interesting because it was year-round business going on. Take a guess what they would do in the wintertime. What do you think they would get here in the winter? Any guesses, guys? Any guesses? Ricardo, Vern, what would they do in the winter here?
Ice skating.
Ice fishing, ice skating. How about the ice itself? The company was Lake Simcoe Ice Company. So what they would do, they would go, they would make 7 ice houses here, and they would cut big slabs out. An image here of the ice houses, row upon row, and they would cut out these big blocks. Some sell the ice, so they would go into the neighborhood and buy horse cart, and you could buy slabs of ice. There was no refrigeration back then. So you would be able to grab a big block of ice. Now it's interesting, they had advertisements. They said, you know, you could break it down to 6 cents a day and have all the luxury of keeping your food fresh. So 6 cents a day, and I don't know how big of a block you'd have and how long it would last, maybe 15, 20 pounds, but really interesting. So this is the other image I was showing you, the ice houses and them delivering it by horse cart, which I thought was really fantastic. So Mo says, when I was young in the 60s, ice cream was 5 cents. Well, that's a deal. You know, oh boy, if you brought a 5-cent cone now, man, I'd be 400 pounds by the end of the week. But that's wonderful. That's really great. We have Carol is joining us. Pat is joining us. Christopher is joining us. Penny candy at the local store. Red licorice, jawbreakers, and sponge strawberries. Wow, I never heard of that. Jack is joining us. Little licorice and sugar you would dip. So good. I think it was a whole bag for 5 cents. Man, those are the good old days, wasn't it? Janet is joining us. Had a bread man come through the neighborhood. He would save me honey dipped donuts. Only $1 for 8, and I loved them. No kidding. How you doing, sir? We're just streaming live. Hey guys, how are ya? Yeah, we're just streaming live to the world right now. Well, yeah, we have viewers from around the world. Oh, this is on my Facebook page. We are streaming digitally right now. Yeah. So, we're talking about the history of Frenchman's Bay and Pickering. Did you know they used to cut ice from the Frenchman's Bay and sell it to Torontonians? Yeah, let me do a quick little wave. You guys want to wave? We're streaming live here on our Facebook page. Tammy says gobstoppers, strawberry shortcake popsicles. Also, Jeanette Lean Bale says I scoop Borden's ice cream at Fenland Dairy for 5, 10, 25, and 50 cents, 1 to 4 scoops. Those were sweet old days. Now, I guess it's all relative, Avery, and you would only make $1 a day. Yeah.
What about fizzies?
Fizzies! Is that the candy that dissolves of the stuff?
No, it was something you dropped into a glass of water, and it was like Alka-Seltzer, but it was sweetened.
I was going to say, I think it's called Alka-Seltzer now. They changed the market. They stopped putting sugar in. They're going for the older market. 2 cents, wow. There was a major restoration effort done about 2 decades ago. And what they wanted to do is really create that favorable environment for wildlife again. We all know about the balance of nature in our own urban settings. So this really does that beautiful stuff. Many occasions you can spot so many different types of wildlife, in particular for birds. Herons, swans, ducks, loons, many other types of birds. We saw a swan a little earlier. It doesn't look like it's in our view now, but you can see there's still quite a few birds. And this is not only in terms of, you know, for a spot for the birds to rest, although it is key, and I'll talk more about that in just a moment, but it's also a breeding habitat, you know. So this is where you'll also get a lot of reptiles here. You know, breeding for toads, green frogs, leopards, painted turtles, even snapping turtles. So this is a significant treat for nature lovers. But what's really interesting is that this is a part of, you know, there are 4 flyways for birds, migrating birds, that is, right? Certainly the Atlantic flyway would be a part of this, and some would say also the Tennessee flyway. But you know, when they're migrating, this is a key spot where they can rest, they can eat some food, they can also get shelter when there's active weather, and you'll see birds here nonstop. There's one, I don't know if you can hear it. I mean, there's some other noise going around, but if you're looking for a spot where you just want to collect your thoughts, this is definitely one spot to take a look. And there are some people that actually take their kayaks and go through here. You can see a few birds that, you know, diving down towards the water. But you can see it's so thriving now too. So that is the work that has been done, is to ensure the restoration of it. And this is what it's all about, finding that balance of urban living and also saluting nature. We all have to coexist here. Now, speaking of nature, I want to take you to Germany because we have this new feature called A Nod to Nature. And you have to see what this German artist in Hamburg has done. Take a look at this photo here. So this was during the peak of the pandemic. And he gathered dead wood and constructed 9 massive crests, they're waves. Some of these span 4 meters high and 9 meters wide, and they're colossal waves on a forest floor. And this was his inspiration to show the pure power of nature relating to how COVID-19 brought the world, including his own home country, to a complete standstill. So, you know, you would think, okay, well, what did he do with this after? And I have to point out to you that he did dismantle it again. He took the images and then he dismantled it, and you know, he wants it to be again returning the ravine to a natural space. But I thought it was very cool, and you know, there's so many aspects of nature and how it connects with us, and here's one of the examples. Now, if you follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, you will see that I've been celebrating 30 Days of Nature, hashtag 30 Days of Nature. Every day I post a little encounter. And one of the images were from here when I was doing a site survey. It's the tree that's over there. In fact, if you don't mind, Ricardo, for those who follow me, you saw that picture just behind the lifeguard sign. We can just do it from here. That was that tree that I just thought was so amazing that it's being lifted up, but it's still growing. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Anwar Knight, I'm continuing to do that, posting those images, 30 Days of Nature. But as we get set to wrap up the show, I want to go to Brazil now to show you that recyclable ride. So this was what Henry Gonçalves, he's 19. This is what he has created now. He's become a viral sensation, in fact, with this one-of-a-kind recyclable art. Take a look at the video here. And he makes replica motorcycles from cardboard and a little bit of PVC. I mean, it's really amazing. So these are life-size. The first one took 10 months to do, and it was a replica of a Honda Hornet. Again, this is all from cardboard, glue, and a little bit of PVC pipe. So he literally researches the parts. He makes a list. He tries to clone them. He gets the images from online, and he makes his own version. And I gotta tell you, it's pretty sturdy too, which I thought was very cool. And you know, he used to paint houses with his dad. I'm just going to call up here so we can also look at some more of your comments here. But he used to paint with his dad. He doesn't have to do that anymore because he makes money off YouTube from all the views and the subscriptions. You know, and he says what he wants to do now is, in fact, do a car and a house, you know, in the months to come. So I thought that was very cool, a recyclable ride. And that's what we try to do, is pinpoint some unique things that are happening around the world. And it just shows you, I'm sure, you know, COVID inspired. He had to stay closer to home, so there was some inspiration there as well. So now that we're starting to see things relax and conditions getting a little better, we can head outdoors more, and that's what we plan to do. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun, my friends. I know we're running a little bit late, so this is the time where I ask you for your support. If you like what we're doing, please show me the hearts. And I got to tell you, the hearts add more value to the program than the likes in terms of Facebook, the Facebook gods, if you will. So if you can, show me those parade of hearts, spraying them up all through here. I appreciate your support as we continue to grow and get better and better. And then, of course, I ask you to follow my page and share it. If somebody is not aware of what we're doing, let them know about it so we can all connect together each and every week here on Here and There, all right? So if you're watching this on YouTube, I ask that you like and subscribe. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, that's another platform that we continue to grow. On that note, my friends, I wish you a very safe and happy weekend. I want to thank you for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you here and there every Friday, 1 o'clock on my Facebook page. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you later.